Hello guys, welcome back to another video. And it's a bit of a long time. As you can see, I'm in a very different location. If you've been following my channel for over a year now, you might recognize this. I'm currently recording from my girlfriend's place in Spain. That's where I have been for the last couple of weeks, where I will be for the next couple of weeks as well. However, this is not going to stop me from playing tournaments because I am currently about to start the OCC qualifiers. And this is actually the first qualifiers I've ever played. I wasn't really able to record a end of season video, but unfortunately, I did not make top six for the first time in like 3 years or something like that. Um, this is last month's season. I unfortunately got eighth. I reached sixth in the last hour, but lost the last game. I needed to win. And unfortunately, that means I'm now playing in qualifiers, but that means more content for you. It's going to be exciting playing my first ever qualifiers. And let's give you an idea of what the bracket is looking like. Um, Here it is. So in the first round, I got a bye just because, the 32 people, odds are a decent number of them don't submit decks in time. They can't play, they can't make the weekend, or they do submit decks and don't show up on the day of whatever it is. So I have a bye in the first round, which means I'm going to be playing against 66 Better in round two, who also had a bye in the first round. And I mean, he's not been around a long time, but he's been posting pretty good results, and his decks are very solid. He has German Japan discard. Um, he has credit denial, um, and he has Jaggro. And if you look over, these are the three decks I'm bringing, which is self damage, Soviet Japan self damage, um, German Japan, sorry, Japan German discard, and US German mid range. So, we all have pretty decently meta decks. We all have decks we're probably pretty comfortable on, and it's going to be a interesting match. Best of three, no bans, slightly different format than the OCC main event. So, with that, I will cut to whenever I start the game. Alrighty, well, the challenge has gone through, and I've thought a lot about what I want to bring. I don't think any of my decks get particularly hard countered. I don't think any of my decks particularly hard counter anything he has, except for self damage into Jaguar is a bit of a hard counter, but that's a 1 in 3. Um, so I decided I was going to bring discard. It's the deck I've put the most hours on in the last month, and it's a pretty well-rounded deck. He's bringing credit denial first. So here's an interesting thing. Do we keep 24th or not? Like, it's a good card to play out on turn 2, because he can't credit deny me before I get this on the board, which means even if he does, like, turn 2 Selling Plan, I can push this up. It threatens to kill Honeys, Crusaders, um, just deal damage. Audacity, obviously, very good keep. Do I keep Wolfpack? Going first, I don't think I keep Wolfpack. Like, I want to be discarding him, but I would much prefer Case Yellows, because I'd rather my own draw than denying him draw at this point in the game. Although that's a little risky with keeping 24th Cavalry, because that is just mulliganing one more card. I didn't really get a chance to test the volume and whatnot, so hopefully all the settings are fine and this isn't like unbearably loud or quiet. Okay, well, turn 1 Pioneer is unfortunate. And I'm gonna... Something I... Okay, turn 2 Pass. Now, I could set up removing this with Audacity, and then even if he does Daylight Bombing on the IG, I can Shenano and remove Pioneer Company, which obviously is not the greatest play ever. Using 2 of the better cards in my deck to remove Pioneer. However, Pioneer is definitely just a card you kind of want gone. I think I'm going to go for it. Even if he doesn't, because it's also just possible he doesn't have Daylight Bombing, like he only has Selling Plan. And I'm going to get a notepad going because this is a game that has a pretty good chance of going to fatigue. Yep, I don't want that sticking on board any longer. So, got the Pioneer gone. He's played Sincerely. There's the Daylight. And that means we can get down Dragon Slayer. It means we haven't attacked yet, and obviously getting in damage. Very important. However, Dragon Slayer on 4. Kind of hard to say no to. Like, his deck doesn't have a lot of way. Like, he has Sexton, which would be like the on-curve way to answer this. Um, and would actually be really annoying in this particular situation. But that's one card. He has one Wrath in the deck. He's running a bit of more of a heavy version of the deck, which means he's cut type 94s. So he doesn't have the surprise attacks that would normally make it much easier to deal with this. So I could trade Honey. I don't think that Honey is going to be healing him 6. So I'll instead take the damage in now. Like, he could Mosquito this, but if he Mosquitoes this, I still kill Honey. I could even case Yellow trade into Mosquito, because I can annihilate Honey. I can't annihilate Mosquito if he has it. To the Last Man's a good card to pick up, because there's a couple units in his deck which can be difficult to deal with. If he doesn't take the trade here, he's kind of trolling. What in my deck deals 2 damage? This Bombing Raid? I think it's much more likely this Honey trades. Blackwatch discarded is a very big discard. Um, did we see if that Blackwatch had been hit by the? Yeah, it was actually reduced. Hmm. So obviously I can just slam Wolfpack. Um, does go directly into a potential Ultra. Um, I want to get Kokura's sword down. There's a couple things that make this somewhat mediocre. Um, I'm gonna hold back the 24th. I guess I could have played it and then next turn there's feasibly double push Wolfpack. Okay, there's the Southern. There's a second supply gone. Like, supply is definitely not the most important card in this matchup for him. But specifically with Kokura's sword on the board, it's sort of his only way of dealing with it. Well, Monsoon in third one. But that's also very big. He had to dump 2 cards. Redeployment. Um, okay. Well, with redeployment gone and 1 honey gone, his heal, he certainly is well within range of being able to Commonwealth this game. Um, However, with Kika and Bombing Raid, if these both connect face, it is certainly possible we can stop. Commonwealth, as he, what's he daylight bombing? Cavalry, so I overdraw. Overdraw air superiority, very low value. Yeah. Still just gonna hold on to this. Like if he plays Wrath on Dina to return to hand, I overdraw, but then I get my Type 94s. If he plays Avery, I only get Type 94 back to hand, and then I double surprise attack Avery. Okay. Um, him finding Lend-Lease is obviously not that great. Him finding Lend-Lease without the honey is substantially better. Let's see, so I'm out of these boys. There's Mosquito. Fortification. So I think I'll... I don't have the credits to do island defense. I could try to I mean, the surprise attacks are pretty high value. Um, do I want to keep that in my hand or not? It's an interesting question. I don't think I really want to play Aichi in this situation. It's a bit too open for um, it's a bit too open for the last supply shortage. Okay, there's the second Black Watch. He's dead on board. Sorry, not on board, but he is dead. There goes the Avery. And there goes lethal. All right. 1-0. That is a pretty important win. Now the question is he going to bring again? So that was by far my best deck into Credit Denial, I think. I think Credit Denial is going to have more chances against my other two decks, which makes me think he will keep it, which makes me think I should play US, which I think is better than self-damage into Credit Denial. Obviously, it's a winnable matchup. He'd have to be crazy to switch to Jagro, I feel like, in this situation. I think I play US. I think I play US, and if I lose, I switch to self-damage. Okay, he switches to discard. That's fine. I think I'd probably rather mid-range into the German discard. Um, I'm certainly not positive about that, but yeah, we are going to keep both of these. Pathfinders is really, really useful at dealing with an early IG, and also it's pretty difficult for him to deal with. So he's got 3 sudden strikes, 3 air subs in this deck. So he could do Errado air sub, which would be worse if he just sudden strikes it. This is fine. IG is a little annoying. This at least forces him, he's going to be using all of his credits. Because Sudden Strike or Air Sup, he won't have enough credits to attack with IG. Okay. Air Sup is fine. I could Pathfinders that, and it kind of forces him to attack IG into Pathfinders. And then that sets up into PIR 35T. I mean, I obviously would rather kill IG with the Pathfinders. Like, kill the 3-cost IG with the Pathfinders. but it's looking like it will be difficult to set that up. I couldn't do it that turn, which means I almost certainly couldn't do it. Oh, that's the only copy of that in his deck. That is best case scenario for him. That is deeply unfortunate. Um, do I ever hit this? So currently my issue is if I pass, he hits IG into this and pushes up, then I can't do anything about it. At least this way I can clear. If he pushes up the guy, I can clear it. Is he still going to push up, or is he going to do IG face? Well, he might not do IG face. He might just do IG here and then not push up. If he pushes up, I can't Sherman, but I can kill IG. If he doesn't push up, I can Sherman. Or he finds another air sup. That's pretty bad. Um, okay, here's a very big moment in this game. I can obviously go for 5th Rangers. He can annihilate it. It's not time for case yellow. Like, he can't really... Like, if he case yellows, he has to case yellow with Wolf's Grenadier, but then I still can't Sherman. I can push up Wirbelwind. This gets hard blown out if he has a sudden strike. But I think I'm nearing the point of the game where it's like if my opponent has double air sup, I choose sudden strike, and his only copy of Wolf's Grenadier, which he all does, then, like, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I can just pass here. Because at any point, if he pushes up Wolf's Grenadier, it's the only guard in his deck, so I kill it with 5th Rangers on 35T to kill IG. If I play this, it just gets case yellowed or annihilated. Okay, discard Sherman. 40% chance. It's a pretty good draw, assuming he doesn't have, like, second case yellow. It's very likely I will be able to do 5th Rangers Sherman next turn. Obviously, he can discard. Oh, that's very good. We push 99th because drawing 35T would be pretty good. It's the last one in the deck. Maybe I should push 5th Rangers then. Actually, because half track. I have 3 half tracks in the deck, and half tracking that would be perfectly fine. Whew. I think we just bring this down. If he annihilates this, he can't also kill 99th without second, sudden, third air sup. And Dragon Slayer is kind of annoying, but again, we still have pretty good shots at half tracks. Pass. He's gonna double. I know he has From the Deep in his deck. I don't think he has Envelop. Yeah, From the Deep only countermeasure. Okay. Um. I think I want to put him under pressure. Like, I want to put him into a situation where he is terrified of Blitzkrieg lethals. He's been slow to discard up until this point. Top deck Nakshub for a credit. That should be fine. How's he going to spend 9? Also, top deck Nakshub means I know he doesn't have From the Deep, unless he Panzer H's or something. That's really annoying. if he had from the deep here, then he just didn't hold it up the previous turn. That would be kind of psychopathic. Ah, that's the Leopold. Ooh. I mean, surely we just take the kill on Leo. I think we push this as a 4-4 and force the trade, because if I put an 8-8 into the support line, he can just go face. Okay. He has like a wolf pack right here. It's pretty over. Comet. Certainly. Oh, that is huge. He has one retreat card left in his deck. If I can draw Blitzkrieg, this is just over. We're one credit off lethal next turn. He obviously has two Annihilations in his deck, too. Um, he can also play Island Defense for only healing 5. Although, actually, if he Island Defense is here, it lets me hit him down to 11 really easily. He's gonna Comet trade Sherman. Without top deck Annihilation, this is kind of a wild move to me. Hmm. Um, I would much rather half track that. Problem with half tracking is I don't have the credits to push 101st after playing it here. I would go for Hellcat, but the attack buff on Naxu means he can trade it off for 2 credits. Does he find the Annihilation? Would be sad if he did. And we have lethal if he didn't. Okay. Please, like, draw into your air subs now. Like, I know he's down all of his frickin' stuff, but, like, please let that be a sudden strike that you can't play. Like, you have 2 in your deck. Please let it be a sudden strike and not Annihilation. It's equal chance that he drew Annihilation as it is he drew a sudden strike. Plus, he has island defenses, which he probably doesn't really want to play. Oh, here it is. That's the Annihilation. Yep. And he gets the discard. And he drew the last air sub off the Radar. Okay. Well, unless I draw my last Sherman, this game's probably over. Well, it's not a terrible draw. Neither is that. Like, he'll probably island defense here, and that's kind of fine. One good thing about this position is he traded Comet, and his deck doesn't have like an infinite number of threats. Also, his deck just doesn't have as aggressive threats as the Japanese one does with Kika and Shiden. So like, yes, we're on 13, and he has way more cards than me, but it's not unthinkable that I would be able to just sort of grind him out by having like marginally better cards on average. I don't know, it's really hard to evaluate average cards in this situation. Like, for one thing, he has a lot of things that discard, and with me top decking, they lose the value part of the discard, but the problem is they don't just discard. Um, and then he has like one or two huge things left. Like he has an FW, he has a Schützen. Those are like the last two big units in his deck. He also did Africa Core into Leopold, so it's possible he has a second Leopold. Why did... He's an idiot. He's holding up from the deep. Will I have no cards in hand? Okay. I shouldn't have pushed Greyhound. This was a mistake. He's gonna Schützen me. This was a huge mistake, actually. I mean, not a huge mistake, actually, because he can backshoot here and then Schützen me. And he's probably not using his credits otherwise. He might still Naxub Schützen the half track just because it's slightly more attack. Passes. Oh, that is huge. Like, it's gonna die to the from the deep, but... What? Is it Maelstrom? Oh, this hurts. If I flood the board, he can Maelstrom to clear. If I don't flood the board, he might get the last value out of the last discard he has. I'm gonna hold it back. I have 2 Blitzkriegs in deck. And if he floated 12 last turn, then surely it's Maelstrom. Yep. Didn't trade with Naxub first. Alright, he has 1 island defense left in the deck. I don't care about playing around it. Like, I just have to hope he buried it with Panzer Age. Yeah. Okay, I have 1 5th Rangers left, which would be by far the best draw in my deck. He go face. He's looking for the last sudden strike. Not last, he has 2. So there's a very high chance this gets sudden strike. Although there's a decent chance he buried it off the last spoils. Or the Panzer Age, I mean. Amphibious Assault. Yeah, I'm fine passing here. Like, if he annihilates the combat engineers to discard a dive bombing, I'm cool with it. Hmm. Yeah, there's the last 2 threats. Well, it was worth a shot. Still technically not dead. You could push this, I draw 5th Rangers. He hits me down to 2. I Hellcat, trade FW. He puts me down to 1. I like Whirlwind or something. Why did he push FW? This is like hard trolling. Oh, he won, but boy did he play poorly. Ugh. Okay, well, 1-1. Now it's Jagro or credit denial. I'm switching to self-damage for sure. Like, self-damage into credit denial is still absolutely playable. So, like, I just based on like out of the game meta and his current choices, I think it makes sense that he switches back to credit denial and doesn't pick Jagro. Um, However, looking at it just very straightforward, um, there's like a 50-50 that I get the best matchup um, possible for me if I bring self-damage. I didn't select a deck there, so I'm hoping it picked the correct one and not the first one. Yeah, okay, picked the correct one. And he switched back to Britain. Alrighty. Um, Yeah, Recon's a good keep. 39th doesn't seem like a terrible keep. It's a bit of a bad keep. I'm keeping Red Dons just because Honeys and Crusaders. Is he going to start with Pioneer both games? What a talented individual. Um, yeah, I'm fine pushing this out onto board. Like I'm not super worried about um like a supply shortage here because it means I still draw 2 cards, and there's also a decent chance that I can just buff this up. Oh no, well no, it's a yak directly into it. Yeah, I'd play yak here if it wasn't directly into a daylight bombing. Um, best case scenario, he's supply shortages this. Okay. If he has the second daylight bombing, I'm gonna be a little upset. If he Southern plans this, he's taking a lot of pressure. That's got him closer to like Monsoon Lot supply. I mean, what else is he gonna do? Like, he can play like Honeys, make me trade. Well, Monty's good. Sure. Pioneer Observer Corps, daylight bombing Monty. Wellington. 0 cost Wellington on 4. You've got to be kidding me. Um, I mean, surely we just dump Boyd, right? If he sext, we got the healing, just like in case he tries to face race me. If he sextons, we can trade SU. Worst case scenario is supply shortage into Monsoon Rot next turn. Hmm. There are a couple plays we can do. I don't really want to scouting party this. Just gonna go face. Like, force him to make this trade. It's very awkward for him to deal with this SU without trading. And if he trades, it means his curve is kind of thrown off because he has a lot of really good 5-cost cards. Well, Observer Core is going to help with that. Observer Core Sexton trade. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Um, counter-offensive here is just lethal. For 1 in 25. I could straight up slam KB. I don't hate that play. Like, he has... What's the punish? Well, I'm gonna get low on health, but like, what's the punish? He can't kill me. He has Churchill Avre is the last, like, true quote-unquote punish. Although, like, surely Scouting Party Winter Warfare is just better here. Well, didn't really find the cards I was looking for. These aren't terrible. These can help put on pressure, but obviously I was looking for a red Dawn to take out Sexton. Well, Black Watch is kind of fine. This isn't the Zukov one, right? Yeah, because this is the one he retreated before. Okay, well, I kind of guess we're walked into a lose to Avery anyways situation. It's not quite. I mean, actually, like, if he just goes face and holds up Ultra, we're kind of screwed. Oh, we had the intel on. Oh my god. That's embarrassing. Um, I mean, I can blitz this. Can I take one damage? I don't think I should. 4, 5. All right. I'm still trying to think of like Burn in his deck. With Wellington gone, Lancaster is the last. Like Lancaster and second Daylight Bombing are the last ones I can think of. That's perfectly fine. That's marginally less fine. Means he can't go face while holding up Ultra. Um. Well, now I know he has Ultra. Do I push this? Like, the Warriors were walking into a big monsoon rot. I'll at least make him pay for it if that is what's happening. I mean, like, I don't know, if he has monsoon rot supply here, I don't think there was really a way to win this game. He's just had the absolute nuts all game. And, like, I'm trying to win this game right now by just greeting on island defense as hard as physically possible. And praying he doesn't continue to have the absolute nuts. Please. Oh my god, dude. Could you not? Like, could you really not? Is it possible? Okay, well now we absolutely have to island defense. Like, this is a mandatory play. It's very difficult to kill the Churchill at this point without dying in the process. And whatever, like, I think he needs to push Blackwatch in a way that lets us sack it. And then also we find Red Dawn to take out Sexton. Second Blackwatch off the top. Like, he could not have picked a better opening hand because he's an idiot, in case that part wasn't clear. Um, okay, we can get double SU down. That's basically it. Could 39th here doesn't accomplish anything. Like I would have brought credit denial too if I drew like this every game. Don't get me wrong. Oh wait, actually he might have trolled his way. We might have just, well, no, okay, he takes out one with Sexton. Hmm. And then he holds up Ultra. And all my orders cost this much. Interesting. And fun. I think Sickle is the least valuable card at this point. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Should have just like ripped the island defense and hoped it wasn't Ultra. Like, just literally nothing I could do this game. That's upsetting, but thanks to the double elimination bracket, which I will pull up now, it does mean that we're not out yet. We're still playing. Um, Loser of 13 means that I play Baron von Glower for the third time in like 6 weeks or whatever it is now. Hopefully I don't get 3-0'd this time. Anyways, I will pause the recording here and get to the next match. Alrighty, so our next match here is against Baron, as I previously mentioned. He has Jagro, Britain, USA, unitless, and German Heinz. And by the German Heinz, I mean like his German Soviet, sort of all in incredibly aggressive YOLO Heinz. Um, so with all of that in mind, I'm kind of leaning towards. I mean, here's the thing: Soviets is good against 2 out of his 3 decks. Knowing that, he'll expect me to bring Soviets and start with Britain. However, he might expect him to do that, and then he'll start with something that's not Britain. So I think we bring Soviets round 1 anyways. That or he's like tossed another coin, in which case, statistically speaking, it's not going to be Britain. And I just realized that I'm recording deck lists this whole time. Okay, well, you missed game 1 probably because I was recording deck lists the whole time. But it was self-damage into Jagro, and I had a really good start. Um, and Baron played it as well as he could, but, you know, he had Signal Regiment on the board, and I had a bunch of 456s. Game 2, he's bringing Jagro again. Kept the errata. This hand has not worked out well for me, though. I mean, island defenses are good for healing. I mean, I still need to get to a position where I'm not kind of, taking 10 damage on board. Um, I have teched this deck a bit more into um, aggro than it used to be, which is really good because, Baron has 2 aggro decks. Okay, Whirlwind's perfectly fine. Um, I could 61st. Now, obviously, I could kill the Whirlwind there, has higher health, sets up Case Yellow on the 35T next turn. Um, I think I'm still in damage mitigation mode. Okay, there I took out the Whirlwind, because it looks like he might be trying to set up a naval supply run, which would be very, very bad. Uh, speaking of very, very bad, this would be a good time to draw one of my two underfires. Just clear out the front line. Um, that is not what is going to happen. Let's drop a case yellow in here. It's a pretty good discard. I'm sure Baron's very upset about that. Unless he has a second one. In which case, I'm sure he's perfectly fine with that. Does he actually straight up have a second one? No, okay, he's just going all in. Oh, he's thinking about not. I mean, surely you have to. He doesn't. That's interesting. If I could draw a one drop, that'd be really good. Okay. I think that choice to not drop me below 10 is going to come back to, is going to backfire really hard on Baron. Well, that's going to be good. Do I play it now? It doesn't do a ton right now. 61st. Like, I'm worried about him playing his own Shenano for, like, Crazy Burn. Or a second Naval Supply Run or something like that. Like, this game is still absolutely losable for me. That's going to be a very good draw moving forward. I might Sendai the 2-2. And then Shenano. I could second 61st. Shenano. So how much damage is Shenano dealing right now? It's dealing 7. If I do this or this, it's 8. 8 versus 6 targets. That's not wonderful odds. I could case yellow that this Aichi. I think I'm gonna go for this actually. Oh, yeah. The important thing was killing the Aichi. The worry with any other play is the possibility that it kills the 2-cost Aichi and doesn't kill the 3-cost Aichi, which would result in me taking 10 damage from board and dying instantly. A bad thing. Well, that's bad. The good thing is we have island defense. Hmm. Okay. It's actually under here. Send in my Sendai. Um, that's a good draw. Does he run Enigmas in this deck? He does. He runs one Enigma. Hopefully he does not draw it. Pushes Aichi. Yokosuka, 20 seconds. It's fine. Finally we draw an under fire. Okay. That under fire there is very, very important. Means we can take our signal regiment, which lets us set up to the last man without taking like 100 damage in the process. Um, also now moving forward, we have double wolf pack. Um, can do this. This, since he doesn't draw cards, I can take at max 1 damage. And Baron's just gonna surrender. And that is us staying alive in the tournament. And unfortunately for Baron, that was a brutal 2 series of games. Um, Unfortunate for him. And yeah, good games. I wish that could have happened in the last 2 OCCs rather than the OCC qualifiers, which I'm already in the losers bracket for. But um, a win is a win is a win. So let's bring up the bracket. So now I go on to play the winner of Ghost versus Killswitch TB, which might be a while. So with that, I will pause the recording and come back when the next game is there, and hopefully, I will, remember to show cards this time. All right, see you in the next game. Alrighty, so we are back, and as you can see, our next opponent is Killswitch in the end, lost 2-0 to TB, beat Ghost 2-0. And let me pull up the bracket. Here you go. Obviously, it still needs to be refreshed and probably, yeah, manually updated, but we are down here against the winner of Killswitch Ghost, which is Killswitch. And if we beat Killswitch, we will move on to play the loser of Tiger versus Top Chef. All right, so Killswitch has um, he has the exact same self damage deck as me. He has a very, very similar Japan German discard. It's actually the version that I was playing previously to this tournament. The one that was slightly more anti-control. This one's slightly more anti-aggro. It's like a 2 card change difference. And then his third deck, where we differ, I have US German midrange. He has German Japan fast times. So that's going to be quite interesting. That could be make or break the difference, or maybe we just play a whole bunch of mirror matches and it's sort of whoever draws better. But either way, Killswitch is always a fun player to play against. And yeah, this should be a good game. I think he's just still um, getting ready, so it might be a bit before we start the match. So yeah, I will cut to when the game starts. Alrighty. So game 1, I'm thinking I'm just gonna bring discard. Because if it's a discard mirror, I feel like I have a pretty good shot at outplaying him. It's discard into self damage. It's not great, but again, it's an absolutely workable matchup. Um, and if it's against Heinz, it's it's kind of a mid matchup. Like I don't think discard really crushes anything that he can bring against me. But at the same time, I feel like I have at least a 50-50 in every single matchup. And at the end of the day, that's sort of what I'm looking for. I feel like US frontline into Heinz is way too rough of a matchup. Um, and I'm not exactly sure how self-damage into Heinz would work out. So definitely keeping 24th Cavalry, definitely keeping 61st Infantry because we're going first. Also, I don't want to get back too many of these. Now, you would immediately think just mulligan to the last man. Like, it's the most expensive card in my deck. Get rid of it. However, playing this on turn 10, basically, if I can play this, it usually means I win the game guaranteed. And I already have 24th Cavalry, which is going to answer most of his early game. Plus 61st is a good play on curve. And just checking his list, he does not have Leopold or Comet, which would be cards that make to the last man, slightly worse. So it might seem like an unorthodox pick, but I'm going to take a risk on this because yes, maybe like 70% of games don't go to turn 10, or like I decided before turn 10, I should say. However, in those 30% of games, I will take a card that wins me like 30% of games in the mulligan. Rado draw would make me change there. Sky Baron's draw. That's quite possibly the worst card in my deck. He runs. Okay, actually, that's not true. He runs Yag Bomber. So there's 2 planes. There's Yag Bomber and there is Heinkel. So he's just going to push up and trade, presumably. Actually, he might not trade. it's actually better for him to not trade, since then I waste a credit, which means I can't take the front line. If you trade, he's kind of trolling. You could even surprise attack that. It's okay, I guess. I suppose it does mess up my future curve, because it means next turn I can't remove two things if he surprise attacks that. So I don't like hate surprise attacking it. This could potentially be a good draw. If this draws me into an air sub, we are absolutely chilling. Um, Granted, there's a lot of cards in my deck it could draw me into which are not air sub, and we are chilling. And by chilling, I mean we're kind of high rolling kill switch. Excuse me. It is like the feels like 36 today, so I'm incredibly thirsty. If he has a Panzer A here, hits a Rado, keeps Type 94 alive. It's kind of an all-right play. Um, I believe Type 94s are the only way in his deck to pin. He might have Whirlwinds to pin planes. Yeah, he has Whirlwinds to pin planes. And no Sendais, but he does want Honorable Deaths. So 61st or Dragon Slayer next turn. Dragon Slayer is probably the weaker of the two. Okay, so this play means he probably... Well, he doesn't have to trade, because he could play a Stug here. He has some 2-drops. He could keep this. He sacrifices the Type 94 to do that, but absolutely doesn't have to play that. Now, I'm going to go for the 61st here, because next turn, if it doesn't get pinned and doesn't get destroyed, next turn I can attack, 24th Cavalry attack, or if it does get pinned or something, I can do 24th Cavalry attack, 24th Cavalry. Whereas if I just did 24th Cavalry attack, I float a credit that turn, and then on the following turn, I kind of can't do much. He does have the second Type 94, very unfortunate. Honestly, I could just like Wolfpack him. That's an interesting draw. I can also go for Dragon Slayer. Take out Type 94. Or sorry, Type 93. This is because even if, he has a third uh, Type 94 pin, I can take out two things in the front line. This lets me take out single big threats. Now, realistically, it'd be insane to try to go for something like Wolfpack. Plus, this reaches into the support line to take out 22nd infantries, which could be a very big issue for me to deal with at the moment. Speak of the devil. Okay, so we do want to keep the number of tanks he's having around under control. Do I leave 22nd infantry up? I think so. Now that's an interesting question. So they both get buffed by Panzer F. This one gets, sorry, they both get buffed, yeah, by Panzer F. This one's the only one that gets buffed by Panzer E, though. Does he not run Panzer E? He does not run Panzer E. That seems kind of insane to me. I mean, the biggest worry is, in the end, Blitzkrieg, which is not going to really make a difference between which one I kill here. Probably should have killed the Type 94, actually. That one damage very easily could become crucial. Rife discard's big. We still might just... Okay, it's difficult to die to a Blitzkrieg here. It's certainly not impossible. He would need double Panzer A push. No, he doesn't even have the credits to that with Greif discarded. Yeah, I don't think I can die this turn. I can most certainly be put into a situation where I will die on the following turn. But this turn, we are pretty good. And these triple 38Ts, really annoying. That's all of them in his deck. He has one Type 93. He has two Panzer Fs for extra damage. Doesn't actually run the most Blitz tanks ever. It's an interesting play. Let's get out this. And as you can see, like at this point, I don't really care about his card draw. Like, obviously I kind of care, but I don't have a way to stop him from drawing cards, so I'm just trying to live long enough to get the island defenses out, get to the last man down, maybe. Now, I said if I can get to the last man down, I usually win the game. This is the situation where it's not quite the truth. Like, if it has an absolutely full hand when I play to the last man, just means he can flood out and even with Panzer Fs in the deck and stuff, there's also just straight up the possibility he kills me from hand after to the last man. I don't believe he runs Pursuit. Yeah, zero Pursuit. Yagdbomber is the only retreat, and with two Panzer or two Type 94s down, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that trade. That's his second Type 93. Auto Cannon. Stug F. Alrighty. Okay, so what's happening this turn? I think I'll go for the Dina. Get the Type 94. Oh, actually, that was a huge mistake. I did not count my hand size. I should have pinned first. Um, Now here's an interesting question about what to do. Do we leave autocannon up? I think we leave it up in favor of island defense. The other option was obviously pin Stug F, but then I feel like he just kind of passes, like pushes up, maybe plays a Blitzcrank, drops me to 11, then passes, and then to the last man, and he kills me. Without Hipper in deck, he doesn't have a way to stop to the last man next turn. The problem is the Thunder Blitzkrieg is just so high. Okay, this is the type of hand that I wanted to see come out from him. Especially if he trades here. Okay, so Wirbelwind, he's down. He has one Wirbelwind, two Panzer A's, one Panzer F. That's the extent of his Blitz tanks. If we can keep him off the board, otherwise, we should be fine. He does run two Blitzkriegs, actually. Flampanzer. Yeah, this is the matchup. I took Bonsai out of the deck, and replaced it with the Underfire, in case people were wondering. And this is certainly this situation where bonsai uh, would be helpful. Um, okay, I think at this point I need to hope I can discard the key cards in his hand and win off of credit denial and this second island defense. Okay, whatever we're doing this turn, it's done with Skybands. Um, I can take out this. I can Raiding Brigade. I can take the front line. Again, he's running very low on Blitz units. Honorable Death, 2nd Panzer F. This is the dead to Blitzkrieg. There it is. Yeah. Well, that's deeply unfortunate. He had the 2nd Panzer F. Yeah, just very close to getting over the hill. Um, could I have done that last turn differently? I don't think so. If I Sendide instead of dropping, instead of Sky Baroning, maybe. The going for healing was definitely not possible to do because if I don't remove any, um, not removing any of the tanks just means I take an additional 6 damage, which is more than I could heal for. Um, yeah, I think that's just sort of an unfortunate. We needed to hope he did not have one of his remaining blitz tanks in hand, or if he did, he didn't have the necessary buffs to kill me. Because if you think about it, if it wasn't 2nd Panzer F specifically, like, you know, if it was the 3rd Panzer A or the 2nd Wirbelwind, I think I was still dead to 2nd Wirbelwind. If it was Panzer A, I wasn't dead without the Blitzkrieg and Fast Times. Um, okay, so here's an interesting situation. It is self-damage. How do you mulligan against self-damage? I see there's an argument for keeping Kokoro Sword, just, you know, it's big, it can't be removed, and if need be, it can just trade out into something. Case Yellow's not terrible. Um, I'm gonna keep Arado just because air sup, and then being able to trigger an early air sup is so important. Like, generally, we're not gonna be playing a lot early. Zhukov's a very good card for him to have. T80. Okay, can we get Arado into air sup twice? No, Shenano's pretty good though, assuming he doesn't have Type 94. Oh, sorry, not Type 94. 456 is what I mean. Like, if he has 456 plus Red Dawn, it's a very sad situation. Just goes for the scouting party. Well, makes playing Shenano a lot harder. Shenano's just a really rough card in this matchup. Okay, doesn't have Blitz. Um, pushes. Goes face. Interesting. Um, Is he considering red downing it? Maybe considering sickle. Yeah, 456 is a bit scary. If he pushes it, we'll just try to set up a double 24th sack on the following turn to deal with it. Okay, that keeps its health low. Oh, he's going for the blitz. Okay, well, this is not a whole lot. Like, and yeah, okay. Well, we're not dead yet. Because we have the Dina for Type 94s to slow him down. Like, we're gonna play like he isn't gonna have Sickle Red down. Because, you know, you have to play to win. You can't play to, like, avoid the maximum high roll. I think he's trying to figure out lethal with um, the stand fast, not stand fast, but stand together, whatever it's called. There it is. Wait. Oh, okay, he's playing around. Well, that would have been a very good card to draw. Um, we're gonna play this out. Don't want to overdrive. He has the second stand together. Like, okay, you win. Oh my, come on. This is 3, 4. Don't have the credits to stop that then. We're still in kind of a workable position. Um, I think we just have to go for the Shanana. Well, that was not really what I wanted. 3 hits face on a board of 4 units with 6 shots. Sure. Um, well, considering we're dead to Winter Warfare anyways. Yep, 3rd Winter Warfare. Sure. Okay, well, we're done with OCC qualifiers. This was the first and hopefully last time I've had to play this OCC qualifier. good luck to kill switch in the further rounds. I mean, I don't think I played this tournament perfectly, most notably that big forgetting to look at the intel off of Scouting Party against 66 better. Not that that would have changed the outcome of that game. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played cards in like 2 weeks, so I guess this is the outcome of that. But yeah, I does not feel like I could have done anything differently in the series that I lost, and I feel pretty happy with the lineups that I brought today. I don't feel like I was behind the meta at all. I don't feel like I played worse than my opponents. Um, it's just one of those games, one of those tournaments, one of those series of tournaments where no matter what you do, everything just sort of turns out wrong for you and turns out well for your opponent. Um, but hopefully, I will be casting maybe the OCC Clash, and I will certainly try to be back in the September OCC Clash, playing in top six, hopefully. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. I might try to do another video from um, Spain with my girlfriend. You know, if I find the time, if I find the motivation. But no promises. It probably won't be a Road to Rank 1 series for August. But I certainly will be trying on ladder. So if you want to see how that goes, just check the leaderboards on ladder. See how I'm going, or feel free to ask me in my Discord. Link in the description. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.